What's up, everybody? My name is Tim Ruswick, and today we're talking about solitude, why it's awesome, and why it might not be so good for game development. So, if you've been following this channel, if you've been watching the live streams, if you've been with me for the last 18 months of my game dev journey, you'll know that I'm a solo game developer. I like to make games alone. I like to make games by myself. Occasionally, I'll work with somebody else. Occasionally, we'll have a group here or there for game jam or something like that. But most of the time, I work alone. And I've noticed that I get emails from people every once in a while. I get tweets, I get private messages from people that have a similar objective. They want to make games alone as well. But I notice that they tend to think that making games solo is the same thing as making games alone. And I need to make a quick, clarification there, because I want to be clear that yes, I make games solo. I make games all by myself most of the time, but I don't make games alone, because usually I'm stream doing it. I have my community involved. I have playtesters. My game Philophobia has an entire Discord channel dedicated directly to playtesting for that, which honestly I've neglected it the past couple months because the development has been crazy. But my games are usually collaborative efforts with the whole community, or my testers, or people in my life, right? So I make games by myself, but I'm making them with other people. And I think a mistake I see a lot, quite often, is that people think that making games solo is the same thing as making games alone. You need other people in the game making process. You need them. What you are designing is an interactive experience. It's not like a painting. It's not like a movie. It's an interactive experience. It requires interaction from another person. So in order for you to make the best experience possible, you need other people to go through that workflow and that experience, and you need to see how they react to it, what happens, what they do, why they do it, what they're interested in, what they go near, what they don't. There are so many things that can go wrong in an interactive experience if you don't have people playtest your game and you don't make it with other people. I'll never forget, I made this game called Indy Jones, and it was kind of a take on Indiana Jones, but it was Raiders of the Lost Art. And basically the premise of the game is that the entire game, all of the art was lost in a crash, and that you, the little dude, had to go find all of the lost art in the computer crash to reassemble the game, basically. And I remember I let my girlfriend play it. I sent her the link, and I had her Skype me as she was playing it. And in the very first opening scene, when the character spawns and everybody gets there, and it says go, right, like after the menu, you're supposed to go right and go talk to the dude, and she goes left. She goes left, and she falls off an imaginary, not visible cliff and breaks the entire game. And I just stood there kind of like, holy shit, it took you 10 seconds to break my game. But literally, in no world did I think that someone was going to go left. Because you go right, you can see the dude, you see where you're supposed to go. There's a giant arrow pointing right. I didn't figure anybody was going to go left. But I needed to watch somebody go left to realize that I had to account for that in the interactive design. I had to put an invisible wall there or something to prevent people from doing that. You need people to go through your interactive experience. And I am a huge advocate of solo game development. But that does not mean you're making games alone. You need to make games with other people, whether it's playtesting, whether it's having them play through it, whether you're testing each other's games, whether you're in the community in Game Dev Underground. We have an amazing community in our Discord if you check that out. Like, you need to be part of something, a community of some kind, so that you can have people play through your game, because you can't make it without other people. And I can't stress that enough. Like, you can sit by yourself and make games for eternity, but remember what you are doing is building an interactive experience for someone else. Just remember that. So if you don't have other people go through it, it's going to have a lot of issues. Even if everything is functioning as designed 100%, I promise you there are things that are going to be found as soon as other people play it. And remember, that's what you're designing it for, right? You're not designing a game for you to play for eternity. Well, you might be. But most of the time, you're designing a game for other people to play. So you need to make sure that people can play it. So that's my message solo game development is not the same thing as making games alone, and I hope you share the sentiment. If you're maybe, you know, hearing this message for the first time, I implore you to check out our community in Game Dev Underground. The Discord is in the link down below. We do live streams. We're going to be doing live streams every Friday. We do Feedback Friday once the first Friday of every month. So feel free to join. But thank you for being part of this community, and thank you for watching the videos. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Give me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. And once again, my name is Tim Roswick, and I'll see you again tomorrow.